Morning and welcome to the Baumüller live event, MotionArena, Showroom for Drive Technology and Future Topics. My name is Carsten Müller and I'm moderating today's event. Your speaker is Matthias Beetz. He's the head of the Baumüller Academy and technical trainer and will guide you through the presentation on the MotionArena. Afterwards, he will answer your questions. The main topics of this presentation, followed by a live tour in the MotionArena, are high-performance servo hydraulics for drive systems, water-cooled servo motors, as well as Baumüller Smart Value and Smart Monitoring. Before Matthias starts with the presentation, I would like to point out that you are muted during the event. You still have the possibility to ask questions via the chat function at any time. Questions asked in the chat will then be answered in a question and answer session at the end. The event will be recorded and the link to this recording will be sent to you by email in the next few days. A few brief words about Baumüller. Baumüller is a global family-owned company with more than 90 years of experience in its core business, drive and automation technology, which are used in many industries. Currently, we have about 2,000 employees working at more than 40 locations worldwide. And now, I hand over to our speaker, Matthias Beetz. I wish you an exciting event.
Thank you very much for the introductory words. Also a very warm welcome from my side. I would like to start with the topic servo hydraulic. So now different approaches have been used in many cases in hydraulic applications to control pressure and volume flow. In this example, a system with proportional valves and a drive with a standard norm motor operated from the mains with a fixed displacement pump. In such a system, the electric motor rotates permanently at the mains frequency. The fixed displacement pump continuously delivers the volume flow. The pressure and volume are controlled here via proportional waves. The acquisition costs for the overall system with the uncontrolled standard norm motor are generally lower than for other solutions, but the life cycle costs are comparatively high due to the high energy consumption. The disadvantages are, for example, high noise emissions due to continuous operation of the standard norm motor and high costs for the valve technology. Electrohydraulic variable displacement pumps are also usually driven by standard norm motors, as shown here in the second example. These applications, the motor rotates permanently at constant speed. Pressure and flow rate are controlled by an axial piston pump. The use of variable displacement pumps improves the energy balance of the system, since the power loss of the variable displacement pump is lower. However, considerable losses still occur. The disadvantages are, for example, variable displacement pumps are more expensive than fixed displacement pumps. High noise emissions due to the continuous operation of the standard norm motor, and that the standard norm motor continues to consume unused energy in the partial load range. Third example shows a servo hydraulic solution. Servo hydraulic machines combine the advantages of hydraulic power transmission with the benefits of servo drive technology. The advantages of higher power density, low inertia, and cost-effective and robust drive elements speed dynamic and precise speed control. This significantly reduces energy consumption. Low heat and noise generation, high efficiency and above average dynamics and precision are typical advantages of servo technology. The drive package of servo hydraulic systems consists of a fixed displacement pump, a servo motor, and an inverter, which at Baumüller includes an integrated servo hydraulics technology package. Baumüller servo motor drives the pump. The servo electric pump drive is controlled by our servo controller from the BMAX family. since the drive only provides power by using the servo pump when it is actually used. The machine consumes much less energy. Compared with conventional solutions, savings of up to 50% are possible, and even up to 80% for long cycles without power requirements. This results in significantly reduced life cycle cost, which often amortize the disadvantage of higher initial costs within a year. The aspect is a significantly reduced noise pollution. Conventional hydraulic systems constantly generate noise due to their permanently running main drive, even when no hydraulic energy is required. By using servo hydraulics, the drive system becomes much more compact, which reduces the required machine footprint. If liquid-cooled servo motors with water or oil cooling are used, smaller motor sizes and servo controllers can be used for the required rated power, which further increases the compactness of the system. Additional potential is offered by the use of internally gear pumps. These shorten the installation space because the bell housing is eliminated and the motor pump combination is significantly shorter. As a special feature, Baumüller offers 3 different variants for the connection between pump and motor. In the standard line seen on the left, mounting is done classically via coupling and bell housing. This proven variant uses a standard motor shaft and motor flange and is flexible due to the separate components. The second stage of expansion, advanced line seen in the middle, involves direct attachment of the pump to the motor via internal gearing. Here, the bell housing and coupling are omitted, making the system more compact and robust. The elimination of the bell housing as a resonance body also reduces noise levels. And in the third stage, the performance line, seen on the right side, the hydraulic oil is also used for intelligent recirculating of lubrication. Connections have been added to both the motor and the fixed displacement pump, so that the leakage flow from the pump can be used for the permanent lubrication of the gearing. This eliminates the need for grease lubrication of the internal gearing, which would be due every 3,000 operating hours on average, and makes the system particularly robust. Baumüller thus offers a patent-pending solution that leads to significantly reduced service requirements during operation. And is it worth using servo hydraulics and in which applications? Servo hydraulics is worthwhile in processes with large fluctuations, in power requirements, in processes with long power cycles, and everywhere a high noise load is to be avoided. Areas of application can be, for example, injection molding machines, presses, punching machines, and bending machines. Be able to compare the energy cost between a hydraulic solution and a servo hydraulic solution, we offer an energy calculator on our homepage on the servo pump page, which calculates the energy savings between the 2 solutions. You will get your result with only a few inputs. Our experienced application team can support you in switching from a classic hydraulic system to a servo hydraulic system. For the design of the servo hydraulic drive system, the cycle of the machine is required and the pressure and volume flow profile over the machine over the time. Based on this information, the servo hydraulic system and its components can be designed using special calculation software. Next, I would like to give you an overview of Baumüller's water-cooled motors. Electric motors have a high efficiency of over 90%. A high proportion of the electrical energy supplied is therefore converted into mechanical power. The remaining 10% of the electrical power is lost in the form of heat. Liquid cooling of electric motors can be implemented in various ways. Basically, there are always channels in the stator of the motor through which water is usually passed, because water has the best thermal conductivity coefficient. The cooling pipes can either be housed in a special jacket or, as in the case of Baumüller's water-cooled servo motors, directly in the motor housing. The variant with jacket cooling results in the motor requiring more installation space. When realized directly in the motor housing, as implemented by Baumüller, the dimensions of the water-cooled motors are identical to those of the uncooled motors. As an innovative motor manufacturer, we develop and produce a wide portfolio of electric motors and therefore offer a suitable solution for almost every application in automation. In this overview, you can see our different series with their characteristics. In the DSD2, DSC1 and DSP1 series, water-cooled motors are already available from size 45. This is unique on the market. Now I would like to explain 10 typical challenges where the use of water-cooled electric motors makes sense. The first example, dynamics means that the process requires fast start-stop operation with few pauses. The higher the dynamics, the more current must be supplied and the drive heats up faster. Water-cooled electric motors dissipate this heat better than air-cooled motors. More dynamic processes are therefore possible. The better cooling performance also means that the motor output is up to 50% higher than with uncooled motors. This means that in many cases the motors can be dimensioned smaller. Smaller motors have lower mass inertia and thus additionally enable high dynamics. These good characteristics of water-cooled motors in terms of dynamics make it possible to reduce cycle times and increase the productivity of machines. The amount of rated or standstill torque of a motor depends on the energy that can be supplied. Water cooling dissipates that heat in the system particularly effectively, so that a lot of energy can be supplied and thus a higher torque can be achieved without the motor overheating. As a rule, a compromise must be found between the requirements for dynamics and torque. Smaller motors mean better dynamics but lower torque. Larger motors provide high torque but allow lower dynamics. When using water cooling, both requirements can be met. Small size for high dynamics plus high torque thanks to optimum cooling. If there are impurities in the air at the machine location, for example due to cotton fibers in the textile industry, these lead to contamination of the fans in air-cooled motors. Dirty fans prevent successful motor cooling. Regular cleaning becomes necessary and leads to high service costs and downtime. Water cooling does not require cleaning and thus generates low service costs. Another problem with textile fibers in the environment, for example, is their flammability. Cotton fibers can ignite at as low as 80 degrees roundabout. Since water cooling dissipates the heat directly at the motor, such high temperatures do not even occur in the system, and the motor surface remains cooler in comparison. The use of water-cooled motors therefore has several advantages. If the ambient temperature at the production site is particularly high, then air-cooled and uncooled electric motors can no longer provide optimum performance because the air can no longer sufficiently absorb the heat. Derating occurs. The effectiveness of water cooling is independent of the ambient temperature. No loss of performance has to be accepted. Compared to other types of cooling, the output of the electric motors is up to 50% higher in water-cooled variants. This means that in many cases the motors can be dimensioned smaller, thus saving installation space. Water-cooled motors can also be installed close together, as there is no risk of them heating each other up. In addition, the installation space for the fans can be saved. Direct cooling at the motor results in a reduced heat input in the machine, and thus temperature-sensitive products can also be processed. For example, ice cream, yogurt, and so on. If water or oil is already in use on the machine, for example in hybrid servo-hydraulic applications, then the high initial costs for the cooling unit are eliminated. This makes the system significantly more economical, and advantages such as high performance and compactness are given greater weight. The cooling medium heated during the cooling process can then be used, for example, to heat residential and industrial buildings, greenhouses, wellness and swimming pools, and much more. This in turn saves resources and increases economic efficiency. Particularly in food production and the pharmaceutical industry, hygiene requirements are high. The fans in air-cooled motors cause turbulence in the air, which favor a distribution of spores and germs. This problem can be circumvented with water-cooled motors. When water cooling is used, noise pollution is significantly reduced due to the elimination of fan motors. Now I'm coming to an increasingly important topic for the machine builder and machine operator, namely the possibility of data acquisition and processing in the drive. Baumüller Smart Value stands for the added value that intelligence in the drive offers for mechanical engineering and machine operators. Intelligent drives thus become a data or sensor hub. And in combination with intelligent software functions, this results in new possibilities for the user to generate modern applications in the area of Industry 4.0 and IoT. To this end, functions from various areas have been defined and implemented. One example is a smart monitoring function, which roughly speaking deals with the entire topic of data collection and processing. Furthermore, open interface standards such as OPC UA are provided for connectivity. What means indirect sensor technology? It means the drive already records a large number of values in the form of parameters, such as position, speed, or current of the motor. The Baumüller Smart Value function processes these already existing values with the appropriate intelligent software functions to achieve the desired results. What does Data Hub means? It means the drive makes the already pre-processed data available to other IoT devices via open interfaces such as OPC UA. The device can thus read the data via a higher level controller, an edge controller, or the cloud, for example. And the advantages are as follows. Less components are used. This reduces the space required. The wiring effort is reduced. Fewer measurement signals have to be transmitted through EMC problematic factory buildings. And last but not least, the field bus level is also relieved. How does the drive become a sensor hub? The analog and digital inputs available on the drive can be used in a variety of ways. If required, additional direct sensors can be connected to them. The drive thus becomes a sensor hub. These signals can then be further processed and distributed. The drive once again performs the same task as a data hub. Thanks to modern technologies such as digital encoders with a single cable solution, sensors can be transmitted via the encoder cable. This again reduces the wiring effort, which in turn has a positive effect on possible EMC problems. The motor itself can also serve as a data or sensor hub. Data can be recorded here and transmitted to the drive via the motor cable, for example. Now let's look at smart monitoring. Smart monitoring is one of the basic functions of Baumüller Smart Value. It is the only way to implement a wide range of IoT functions. Almost all applications from the Industry 4.0 and digitalization environment of drive systems are based on data acquisition and data processing. The data is collected in hard real time in the controller cycle and transmitted to higher level devices for evaluation. What are the possible applications? One example is during commissioning. A reference can be recorded. The machine behavior can be compared with this at periodic intervals. Another example is during operation. The current measured value recording can be used to detect events. For example, with our oscilloscope functionality or encoder diagnostics in our software tool ProDrive. In case of service, errors can be triggered with a history, also in our oscilloscope functionality available. Now, I would like to take you on a guided tour of our MotionArena. In our MotionArena, there are a lot interesting information in our digital showroom. In 9 rooms on 2 floors, visitors can access information on the latest products, innovative drives, and automation solutions and projects. Videos, infographics, texts, reference stories, machines, and exhibits are used to clearly present all topics. And now, follow me on a brief tour of the MotionArena. Now I have to change to our homepage. And on our homepage, you will find the MotionArena. If you move down, and you can see here the area for the MotionArena. To enter the MotionArena, please select this yellow button and confirm. And after a few seconds, you will see an additional window. It's a little bit time. Here at this window, you can enter directly to the MotionArena, or you can select, for example, here some additional topics. I select the button and the MotionArena, and now we are at the entrance of the MotionArena. At this page, at the start page here in the entrance, you can find a lot of symbols. For example, a symbol here, and with this symbol, you can open a sheet and you can enter your contact data. So we can contact you. The next symbol, for example, here is a bird view from the MotionArena. We have 2 levels. We have the base level and the upper level. And here you can jump directly to the different rooms. A very short process. Another possibility is to jump directly to the different rooms over the blue buttons here. Or the other possibility is to select one of these topics here in the yellow list. When you find, for example, this symbol with a globe, you can open information behind the person. In this case, when I select it, I can open an additional page and I can start a video with a statement of our colleague Anja Andraschko. And on every page, you can get in touch with us. And in this case, you can fill in your contact data again. I close this window, and next I will explain this symbol. With this symbol, you can you can jump directly to the different levels or rooms. Select, for example, the symbol for the lobby, and now I'm in the lobby. And here you can find a lot of persons and information. For example, here the globe. When you select the globe, you will find an opened window with a statement of Andreas Baumüller. The next possibility here at this table is overview for the MotionArena again. All the time, if you find a globe symbol, you can open information behind the symbol. And when you hold the left mouse key, you can move in the MotionArena. You can move to the left, to the right side, to the roof, to the base. You can move in every direction. And here, when you find this symbol again, you can jump directly into the MotionArena. Prefer now the direct jump over the blue button here, direct drive technology, for example. Now I'm in the room for the drive technology, and here you can find a lot of additional information. For example, in the middle, when you select this information, you can find 7 reasons for direct drive technology, and you can open, for example, the information to the 7 different topics. Right side, you can find an application. In this case, it's an shredder. And here at the screen, you can find the symbol to open a video. And behind this video, you can find a description. You can find a video for a working shredder. Very interesting. And when you select the globe on the shredder, you can open a description for this specialist shredder type. We have additional information about the company of Weimar, because this is a shredder from Weimar. Here, when you open this, you get a description about the company, and you will find a direct link to the homepage from the customer. It's one of our customers in the shredder branch. Now I want to move to the left side. And on the left side, we have an additional video. We have a webcast about high torque motors. And here in the room, we have allocated direct drive. This is a high torque motor in the biggest size what we can deliver. And when you select the motor or the globe symbol, you will find some interesting information about the high torque motor in the size 560. Here, the motor, we have our BMX servo controller. In this case, it's a BMX 5000 series. And when you click on the drive or on the globe, you will find additional information about a special application in this case. In this case, we have our biggest motor, and we have a connection with 4 servo drive controllers to this motor, because this motor has 4 windings. And connected to this 4 servo controllers, we have a connection over the DC link to an active regenerative feedback unit. Very interesting application. And all these drives are synchronized over the field bus system. Yeah, and at the end, in this room, you will find a special area where you can open a special page for the brochures. And here we offer a lot of different catalogs, for example, for the servo controller family, BMX 5000, or it means here BMX 5000 series, 4000 and 3000 series. Here our motor catalog, a special catalog for direct drives, and an interesting catalog for servo drives for higher power. It means a combination between a servo controller and the motor, what is possible. And a separate catalog only for the biggest torque motor of Baumüller. And we have a technical data sheet for all the direct drives in the Baumüller portfolio in the size 135 up to 400. This principle you can find in every room to the different topics. For example, what I told you, the liquid-cooled motors, we have a special area. The principle is all the time the same. And the same for servo hydraulics. You can find a lot of interesting information. The injection molding machines and with our specialists from the sales and from the application department. Yes, this was a very short tour around the MotionArena. I will jump back to the presentation. At this point, I'm ready with my presentation and I hand over back to my colleague, Carsten Müller.
Matthias, thank you very much for this interesting presentation and your valuable insights into the MotionArena. Initially, there was an answering session planned, but we are close to the end of the webinar, and so I would like to drop this Q&A slot. We will answer your questions already asked in the chat window in a follow-up. If any questions pop up after this event, please feel free to email us at marketing@baumüller.com. We will then answer your questions in a follow-up on a personal basis. You'll find further interesting information on today's topics in our MotionArena and on our website under Baumüller Insights, among others. We will be offering further interesting live events in the next few days. On June the 1st, complete mechatronic solutions from a single source, precise, individual, and efficient. And on June the 2nd, efficiency turbo with safety, with autonomous mobile robots to modern production. This brings us to the end of the event, and we thank you for your interest. Goodbye from Nuremberg. Stay healthy.
Bye from my side also.